What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with another Pet Shop Wednesday. As always, big shout out to Seb, as well as the many folks who've become part of this deep dive, and we still have so much more to go. And indeed, we've now finished the album Bilingual 1996, but Seb has provided a great number of B-sides and non-album tracks in the same folder, the first of which, as I mentioned last week, is The Truck Driver and His Mate, which is apparently a B-side to the Before single. And yeah, I'm intrigued. Obviously, mate, it can mean different things, and I know among my techno friends, many of whom are from the greater London area, some of whom in other parts of the UK, but yeah, they often use mate as a colloquial reference to a good friend, someone with whom they share interests, and it is perhaps, I don't know if it's necessarily indicative of like certain socio-economic or cultural connotations, but it does feel like maybe those on the like toffee nose side of the socioeconomic spectrum probably don't go around calling people mate in the same way my techno friends do. Now obviously mate can also be partner, meaning like significant other, romantic partner, emotional partner, sexual partner. So I don't quite know how to read mate here, and perhaps it could also just mean someone with whom you work with, you know, like occupational partner. So maybe there's some overlap, maybe it has multiple usages here. A truck driver, I suppose that does have socioeconomic connotations, and perhaps someone who's like, you know, working class or like blue collar as it's often called here in the US. So yeah, it certainly suggests a pair of people, but as to exactly what the essence of the phrase is, I shall have to try to follow along. Let's give it a listen. This is the Pet Shop Boys. The song is The Truck Driver and His Mate, and it's the B-side from the Before single from the era of the 1996 album Bilingual. That's a really fascinating one for multiple reasons. One, it feels more on the experimental side of their catalog, certainly sonically. Like, it's got some different parts to it, even some different flavors, and the chronology is multifaceted, meaning like it seems to like move like very abruptly or with a notable shift from one section to another. It's less of a smooth flow, which is not really a criticism, but yeah, like again, it had a bit of alternative energy with that like guitar riff, which was very like heavy and edgy. And then it has obviously like a danceable rhythm, and there's a line referencing like dancing under the moonlight and so on. So in one way it feels not far away from a lot of their tracks. But then that like post-chorus like interlude section with that like drifting and a bit like dissonant like backing vocal, like choral vocal, that felt unusual for a PSP track. So yeah, like the verses felt a bit more straight away PSP, except again for that like heavier guitar sequence, which again that felt like very 90s. Like again, not in a bad way, but like it felt like it had a lot of alternative 90s energy to it. And then the like dissonance of that one like supporting vocal phrase like gave it a bit different of a feeling than a lot of PSP tunes. So like in a way it was like characteristic PSP, and in another way it felt anomalous PSP. And yeah, like lyrically I don't really know what's happening. Obviously again there was that reference to like dancing under the moonlight, and it like was more important than wherever the destination is, or I don't even know if they like have a clear destination. And then I think there was a line something about like I don't know, I don't think it was improvisational, but it felt like there was no grand plan here. It was more like just kind of feeling the moment and just kind of going with the flow and so on. And so maybe there is a like there's a connection here. The truck driver and his mate, they came together, but that like they don't really know what to make of it. They're just kind of riding along, and that could be more literally and also conceptually. So yeah, like a very interesting one, and one that like obviously hearing Neil's vocals, I would have a sense, oh okay, that's a PSP tune. But if you took those out, maybe again with the danceable rhythms, it's like okay, like PSP is an option here. But there's PSP tunes where even again, if you took out Neil's vocals, within a few seconds it'd be like, oh, this is definitely a Pet Shop Boys tune. This one, I don't know if I would have that immediate conclusion. So yeah, that's why I say it feels a bit more experimental in their sonic world. Lyrically, I do look forward to people filling in some of the gaps, because I didn't catch everything. In part because I was so like intrigued by the sonics, not only like section to section, but as I said, from the shifts from one section to another, it would be like very surprising and like a notable change. So yeah, looking forward to the rest of these B-side tunes. I think the next one is also a B-side from before. Let me just make sure that is the case. It is indeed, and it's hit and miss, which, I like that phrase. More on that when we come back next time, when Luca will probably still be sleeping. Let me know what you think, and I will see you then. Peace.